Okay, so welcome to the Peaceful Warrior podcast. I'm talking today with Menamy Mitames. Is it correct?
Mitani.
Mitani. Okay. Um, Maybe you can give a little introduction to your martial arts career. I think you went through a lot of different arts and give us like a quick.
Okay. When I was a kid, I started out with kendo and then judo, and then I got really seriously into martial arts when I went to the United States as a teenager, and then in the 20s, I started JKD, which is Jeet Kune Do, Bruce Lee art. And from there, went into jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and then found myself in Systema. Before that, I was in stick fighting too. So, and little other things in between. But mainly, JKD, Jiu-Jitsu, Systema, and some Filipino arts and some Japanese arts as well.
Mhm. So you're also a black belt in judo, is that correct?
Yeah.
You're also a black belt in jiu-jitsu?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's quite an accomplishment. It's quite tough. There are arts where it's relatively easy to get a black belt, but as far as I know, and I'm a blue belt, and so I know it's not easy to get a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You need to be quite into it. What's like your biggest takeaway of Jiu-Jitsu, and also why do you focus on your seminars more on Systema? I mean,
Yeah, so I did jiu-jitsu before I went into Systema, and I hated it. I didn't like the ground training. I was doing stand-up striking and all that, and I wasn't enjoying wrestling part of it. I hated it in the beginning, but my body kind of got used to it, and I started to use my whole body by doing jiu-jitsu because that's what's really required from really head to toe, from your tip of the fingers to your tip of your toes. You need all kinds of movements in grappling. So I started to learn how to move my body, and I started to like it. And that kind of went on to sort of Systema as well by learning, and also grappling on ground also gives you relaxation in a lot of ways. When you train a lot, you start to relax your body, and you start to use the ground, the mat, for sort of to utilize your movement. So those are things that I loved, and I really loved grappling, and I still like grappling now.
Mm-hmm. What are the benefits that a jiu-jitsu player can get from Systema? I think when I go to Systema practice, for example, I realize that I'm less exhausted than some people who are a lot more physical than I am. So at the end of the training, like people are like after the sparring, they're really tough and they're really strong, but they're like, for example, really exhausted. So what do you think?
Yeah, I think Systema, training in Systema, which is the core of our training, is really focusing on relaxation and, movement, structure, and breathing. And all those elements greatly enhance any other martial arts. For Jiu-Jitsu in particular, yes, because they don't really learn how to breathe, how to relax, how to move they teach you how to do techniques, but not exactly movements. They do some movements, but they don't really focus. They focus more on technique. So if they learn how to move more, if they learn how to breathe more better, and then relax more instead of using, because they fight, and when you fight, tension comes up. And if you keep fighting with tension, you exhaust yourself very quickly. So if you learn the way we move in Systema as you do Jiu-Jitsu, and then I think those guys can benefit a lot from us.
What about your daily life? Do you notice some changes in the way you respond to conflicts. I mean, in daily life, conflict might be, I don't know, like not getting a parking or having a conflict with a co-worker or something like this. Do you notice that your behavior changed through Systema?
It's hard to say because I still get pissed off when somebody cuts me off. So it's kind of hard to say, but I am more aware.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I'm talking to somebody, or let's say I start to kind of argue with someone, say politically or something like that, and then I can feel my tension coming up.
Mm.
I either calm down and it's not a fight. It's not argument doesn't really bring out a good result. So I have to kind of hold myself and try to see the other person's point of view.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that might come from Systema Training. I don't know.
I think seeing the other person's point of view is probably one of the healthiest skill we can develop in order to go towards peace.
Absolutely. Even without martial arts, everyone should have that skill and train for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Systema Training and there are other things that can improve you in that way, but it is really important.
Yeah.
You gotta, otherwise you're just fighting and fighting. You have to see the other person or other people are, human beings just like you, and you have to accept who they are, and then you can be more constructive towards peace or any solution to any problem.
Mm-hmm. What is the goal of Systema in your interpretation of it? I mean, what are we trying to accomplish? It's vague. Yeah, we do all this work with knives and multiple opponents and this, that, and ground and up. But there is also a lot of things happening between the lines, and I would be curious to figure out what's the goal of all this.
Well, I think the goal of Systema can be defined by every practitioner. My goal might be different from yours, and I think that's okay. But for me, Systema is a great platform to learn about yourself, about myself. And then from there, how do I improve myself? We do, as you mentioned, we do striking, grappling, weapons, all kinds of ways of fighting. There's no limitations to what we do. We only limit ourselves in the way that we don't hurt each other. So that's the train, right? We don't damage each other. So, but other than that, anything goes. So in that environment, you learn to be free yourself from all the things, whether you get kicked or punched, or you have to accept those things. Because otherwise, if you don't accept them, you're only denying it, and you're already fighting. But if you have the mind to accept it, and then you can transform whatever the attack is, and then maybe you can return it to the guy, or maybe you can take that energy out of your body. So it's a way to find different solutions without fighting and colliding with other people or other things. It's really to enhance yourself. To me, that it's not about beating others, trying to put other guys down or your opponent down. It's about me. I'm fighting myself, doing Systema. I'm learning about myself, and I'm trying to improve the quality of my behavior, my action, and my life.
Yeah, I also noticed a lot of changes in my behavior before I practice a lot of Thai boxing, Krav Maga, and Filipino martial arts and all that. And with 20, my body was already quite broken. I already had a lot of injuries. And then I started practicing Systema, and suddenly my body became more and more healthy. And I also noticed that, like, if I move in a hard and tough way, it's affecting also my behavior in the outside world, outside of the training. And I will also react in a hard and tough way. So, like, people who box, they're also a certain type of personality. They might become in also, like, over the years, moving towards a different personality. Because it just toughens you up. And if you do that a lot, you're going to also react this way in real life. So now my next question is, how are you, what are you feeling about the benefits of Systema in the outside world?
Outside meaning outside of martial arts?
Outside of the training, the training itself.
Yeah. So the benefit, Systema isn't just about training in martial arts. Systema to me is martial arts. Systema as a martial art is a very small kind of a world compared to the larger world of Systema. So what I mean is you can use the training of Systema and that directly reflect and affect your world outside of training. So once you go out of your dojo and you deal with the real life, like the cars, you get into the car and then, too much traffic and then, okay, are you going to get mad at it and you're going to, bang on your car, pissed off, or you're going to calm down and you're going to just try to relax and enjoy the time. Think about, something good, or listen to, easy music, or whatever it is, right? You can spend your time more in a meaningful way rather than getting pissed off. That's just one example.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, you meet with your friends, family, kids, whatever, you have to deal with other people. And there's always certain conflict. And so you can use Systema relaxation, how you think about things. You can influence from the training into the real life. I think the benefit is just way more than you think it is.
Yes. So what I find challenging as an instructor is it is a very big system. It's quite complicated. It's a quite challenging martial arts compared to boxing. I mean, boxing is, I'm not saying it's easy, but it's not so complicated. It's jab, cross, a hook, there's some footwork, and some head movement. And basically, you learn everything you need to know in the first class. And if I have a student that is maybe just there once a week, and then maybe you have like 1.5, 2 hours of training maximum, and they're maybe just there for a few weeks or months. What do you think is the most important skill a beginner should focus on in this huge system to not get lost or overwhelmed?
I think, well, it's hard to say. So, 4 elements of Systema, they're all important. You might say breathing, but to me, because you can learn about breathing elsewhere as well. So for me, I think I would focus on movement and relaxation. But relaxation, well, it's not just relax, right? Relaxing in movement. So how do you move with the relaxation? So how do you, like when somebody attacks you, how do you defend, but with relaxation? So relaxation has to be in your movement, which means ideally every part of your body should be relaxed. You only use certain necessary muscle to defend yourself. So you're looking for minimum. That's what you would go for, but you're not going to get that in a couple of hours. But I would teach that, how you eliminate unnecessary tension, and you can guide that person to a certain extent. I think movement and relaxation in movement.
Awesome, thank you. Do you have any maybe advice, last words for practitioners that are maybe just starting up, or
Yeah. Well, you have to keep your open mind. People who come into Systema, a lot of them have already martial arts background. So if you have already different martial arts backgrounds, then you gotta put that aside. You have to go into Systema as a new thing. You don't learn Systema through the eyes of boxing or jiu-jitsu or anything else, because you're not going to get it. I tried that, and I had to give up all. So you have to really immerse yourself into Systema. Open mind is very important. If you're completely new, no beginner, nothing to do with Systema, nothing to do with any martial art in the past, then you should just enjoy the moment, every moment, because they give you different drills, movements, and it should be fun. And you gotta have fun, and then you can learn a lot.
Thank you. Okay, great.
All right.
Thank you.
That's it?
Yeah, I would say so.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, we are hungry and want to shower
Okay.
and everything.
Yes,
so
yes.
I would have more questions, but
Yeah.
maybe tomorrow.
Yeah. If you
I'm a
want,
little bit scared
tomorrow.
actually to that the sound is disturbing.
Louder or something. Yeah.